This video is going to explain how to do the Autodesk Inventor Sketching Introduction assignment. If we take a look at the instruction here, it says using the sketching tab, start a 2D sketch and make the following shapes. Then take screenshots and post them in the appropriate box, which is your screenshot box. Please crop the images to look exactly like the sample images. They should be about the same size, should look about the same. If they're not perfectly identical, I'm not going to fault you on it. I just want to know that you can recreate, in general, the shape that you're given. So let's take a look at number one. The task number one is to create a circle, and I will give you a hint here. So a lot of times the description is also telling you what tool to use to do it. Here's an example screenshot, and then you're going to post your screenshot here. So let's go over to Inventor. We're going to do number one together. All right, so this is the home screen for Autodesk Inventor 2025. If I start a new file, I can do so a couple different ways. I can click this button up at the top left. I can click the new button over here, and my menu's on the other screen. Let me pull it back here. So here's the menu that pops up. It's asking you what type of file you want to create. Most of what we're going to do is just going to be standard IPT file. So you can double click that, or you can click it and click create. And here is your file here. Hopefully from the scavenger hunt, this looks familiar. All right, to start a 2D sketch, you come over here and click this button. One thing I want to caution you is be careful you're not starting a 3D sketch. You guys are not ready for 3D sketches, and it overcomplicates things and makes it difficult. You're going to start on any of these at this point. It really doesn't matter which plane you're starting on. Here is your origin or center point on the X, Y, and Z axes of your workspace. I always like to work in quadrant one. I feel like it's just a good habit. So I'm going to start up here. So I'm going to use the circle tool, and here next to it are all the other sketch tools available on the sketching toolbar. Under each one there's a little arrow which gives you access to additional sketching tools. You can see under rectangle there's actually a whole bunch, and you're going to be using several of these, so pay attention to that. I'm just going to use a regular circle for number one, and that's really all it has at this point. I don't have to worry about the text example. That's just to make sure that you're not copying mine. So yeah, that's exactly what I want. So let's take a screenshot. If you don't remember how to take a screenshot, on Windows here, type in SNIP to grab the snipping tool. You can either click on this button on the right or the left, really doesn't matter. You're going to click new, it's going to go dark, and then you drag the box that highlights what you want. And that actually saves it to your screenshots folder and pictures. So go back to your document, make sure your cursor is over here, and you can go to insert image and upload through computer, but I always find it easier just to open up the Explorer and just take what you want and drop it where you want it. And because I didn't take a massive screenshot, it's actually the right size, but if you have to manipulate it or crop it, you can manipulate it just by clicking on it and changing the size. And if there's just too much extra space around the circle, you could double click it, bring up the crop functions, and you could crop it that way too. But this is perfectly acceptable. Even though the circle itself is a little larger than the example, this is perfectly fine. You're expressing that ability to create a circle without a problem. Number two, you're going to do the same thing with a rectangle. Number three is a Z using the line tool, hence use the line tool. This is a different type of arc, a center point arc instead of a circle. We have ellipse, triangle, polygon. You could actually use the polygon to make a triangle, a little hint there. And then just some complex shapes and different tools, going through some where you have to create multiple profiles here. But just take your time, be careful about the tools and lines and arcs and different things, and just do your best, and that will 100% be satisfactory. And that is how you do this assignment.